Hello and welcome. Project Wingman is a video game about planes and bigger planes and high-speed collisions. It's like Ace Combat, but instead of it being 6 years since release, it's only been 5. I already made a video on the main game. You can watch it if you want, I guess. However, since then, the DLC, Frontline 59, has been released. Well, okay, it was out on the No Game Station first, like, a while ago, but that doesn't count. Nobody plays games on that thing. What matters is that it's here, on PC. And for a surprisingly reasonable price. Frontline 59 ties into the main game by giving you a story from a different perspective. Instead of flying as a super cool mercenary for a PMC helping out the scrappy rebels, you get to fight as one of the evil, bad Federation pilots. Well, kind of evil. What I mean by that is that while you do play as a Federation pilot, basically everything is set up in a way to make the Federation look as good as possible, so the devs just made all the previous good guy forces act like unhinged psychopaths out for blood. Then again, they made pretty much all of them just mercenaries, so fair enough. That's not being completely fair, I guess. There is precisely one moment where you get to challenge the Geneva Convention, but you're still part of a squadron who mostly just want to get by and don't really have any monologues about kicking puppies or anything outright malevolent. And you're part of the reserve forces on top of everything, so narrative-wise you're far away from being a regular pilot. It's not a haha genocide all Cascadians type of story, is what I'm getting at. It's more leaning into the theme of, oh no, there's good and bad people on both sides of the war kind of thing, which is fine. The events that happen in the campaign are also fairly self-contained. Timeline-wise, it's set right after the Bering Strait mission in the main game and continues on until the thing happens. There are a few small references to the main plot, and one fairly big one at the end, but you and your squadron are doing their own thing here. You, of course, do need to play the main game to understand what's happening, but I feel like that's a given. The gameplay is, well, it's just more of the same. Fly planes, shoot infinite missiles. If you like Project Wingman, like I did, then this is just more of it. The one piece of criticism that I have for this DLC specifically is that compared to the main game, your roster of planes to fly is a lot smaller. And you don't get to fly any new secret planes for beating the story either. The small upside, however, is that you don't need to buy the planes anymore since you're part of the government. You just don't get to use any of the cool stuff. The story and the 6 new missions to play through are the biggest draws of this DLC, so let's get into that. Welcome to the Federation. As is tradition in these games, we are not told the name of our pilot, but from the deep lore presented, I can only assume that we play as Ryan Gosling. Your unit, K9, are stationed on a base just off the coast of Magadan, and are about to be sent out as reinforcements into the fight. Uniquely, you actually get to start out in a hangar that's used as a background for the plate selection screen, which is neat. Playing into the theme of being reserve pilots, your squadron is fucking clueless, and your new AMAX friend isn't too happy about the absolute state of you.
I thought Cascadia was losing. Well, the Federation certainly isn't winning if we're going out. Amateurs. Shut up, both of you. Still trying to remember how to fly this thing.
So, you finally get into the air and get introduced to each other, like it's the first day of school. Reservists don't get tag names, so everyone has to make one up, except for you, seeing as you're a silent protagonist, so Vita just gives you one, thus reinforcing the Ryan Gosling theory.
Fine. K9D. Brick. Where'd you get that from? Job. I'm a bricklayer outside of this.
Well, if that's the pattern, K9A, your driver.
Anyway, time to fly off to the Bering Strait, or not. Yeah, the Federation took the L before we even got into the mission screen, big surprise. Time to cover the retreating friendly planes. Hope the 4 of you can handle roughly 30 mercenaries. Of course, naturally, none of your friends really know what they're doing, or, why they're doing it. Thank you, Federation.
Hey, Wax, you mind telling us what the hell is going on?
It's chaos right now. Command screwed up somewhere. The Cascadians routed our forces and we lost the entire transport operation.
What air transport operation?
Oh my god, it's a Galaxy. I know the guy. He's from the main game. He's a cool guy. Let's kill some of his friends.
Positive tone.
So you deal with the first wave, and they get greeted by none other than Crimson Squadron. Whew! Celebrity cameo, oh my god. Oh look, they're being chased by a mild challenge. They even get a fancy title card. I am so incredibly intimidated.
Tailcoats seem like dead reservists.
Oh, you know what? You're so right, I agree.
We all have to be a little twisted to be pilots. I guess that's why driver's such a natural.
So, after shooting down the Ace mercenary squadron, you get a little drama between Griffiths, the guy who recruited all the mercenaries in the first game, and General Faust. Faust is the acting commander of the nearby Cascadians and the creator of My Little Pony. She decides a woman's playing Griffiths and tells him that invading a foreign country is very based and something they should totally do, which sets the rest of the campaign into motion. Anyway, the Federation forces are kind of wrecked, so you and your fellow reservists need to hold off the incoming Cascadian invasion. And that's mission 1. 5 remain, time to defend the homeland. Welcome to the first mixed warfare mission. There's a lot of them. The objective is to stop the Cascadian invasion and help out the Federation reserve forces on the ground. Unsurprisingly, the conscripted infantry reserves are getting their balls flattened, so you're kind of losing. The fighting is pretty fierce, since you need to switch between destroying the ground-based SAMs, tanks and other targets, while also dealing with all the enemy mercenaries in the sky. On top of that, after a few minutes, you get to have bombers to deal with. It's a pretty bad time for you and your infantry friends, so naturally, things get even worse. Well, there goes command. Turns out, World War I artillery bombardments are still extremely viable. Sucks for everyone down there, haha, fuck. The imminent domain is past the big scary mission red line and can't be attacked. Because if you could, you definitely would be able to dick it hard enough to destroy it and invalidate the actual main story. All you can really do here is shoot at the occasional plane while getting progressively more overwhelmed.
What are you doing? Nice kill. Keep to the plan! Keep fighting back when we're overrun! We can't keep doing this forever, you idiots!
Finally, a flight of peacekeepers show up, which is actually a good thing this time around, and with your powers combined, you start pushing the invasion back a little. And so the day is saved. Well, okay, yeah, the Federation is retreating, but like, mission complete, that's all that matters. Mission 3. Combined warfare, but more of it. This mission is pretty simple as far as objectives go. The Cascadians are pushing into a city, and you need to drive them out and clean up the AA for a bombing run. AKA, blow things up on the ground for 20 minutes. AKA, God, I wish there was more than one attacker plane in this DLC. Do you enjoy SAM sites? What about the railguns? How about dealing with advanced versions of both scattered around a dozen times, while also fending off a bunch of jet fighters? Glad to hear it. There are so many targets, it's actually possible to run out of your secondary weapons by the end of the mission. And if you're not careful, before it. Once you clean up the first couple of areas, a friendly airship shows up with a dozen big boy bomber planes. So, then you get to escort them to the enemy FOB, clearing up any remaining AA on the way. When the bombers arrive over the base, they drop their hot spicy loads, and then you get to mop up anything that remains until the mission is complete. Off in the distance, you can see some cordium plants burning up. Looks like the cussies are doing a bit of infrastructure sabotage. Well, we can't have that. You can kill all the civilians you want, I don't care, but how dare you threaten my lucrative energy stocks? The next mission is slightly controversial. It's a tunnel run that goes across the whole map. After a hard night of drinking lead, the Federation HQ decided that one pilot flying through an unfinished highway section and destroying the enemy forward base all by himself is the key to winning the war. And guess who's gonna be the pilot? Welcome to the Great Filter. Can you fly a plane? Or did you get through most of the game by wiggling around the stick and occasionally pushing the missile button? Do not worry, because you're about to find out which of these two groups you belong to very soon. Honestly, it's not that bad. If you think that you're colliding with the wall a bit too much, just slow down, forehead. Assuming you follow the main road structure thing with all the pillars, you should be okay and make it to the end. Also, there's lasers. After flying out the other end of the tunnel, you get to rain down your hot, sticky vengeance on all the smelly, unwashed Cascadians down below. This makes General Friendship very unhappy.
What? Aren't you using the new battle plans I sent you? They sent a plane through the underground highway. We couldn't have. Unbelievable.
You get shot at, but if you can get through the tunnel, then this should be a piece of cake. A nice light show more than anything else. Either way, you raise the entire FOB to the ground, and that's that. So, now that they have suffered a bunch of losses all across the front line, it's time to push the Cascadians off of Magadan. This is another mixed assault mission, and it's pretty fun. You can take the VX with the AoE limiters for extra style if you want, or, by complete mistake, which I definitely did not do. There's a tiny bit of lore sprinkled here and there, but most of this mission is just about completely dunking on the entire Cascading invasion force. I guess this explains why they were so outnumbered in the main game. They just threw most of their military into a suicidal offensive that did nothing. Great, good job guys. After roughly 10 minutes of constantly being blown the fuck out, the general has an autistic tantrum and rage quits the battlefield. The captain of the eminent domain takes up her spot and tries to negotiate a truce.
Hailing all Pacific Federation channels requesting communique with the commanding officer of Federation forces in Magadan. You have my word that we will return directly to Cascadia. No one else needs to die.
Verify the wire immediately. My verification code.
Copy. Making the inquiry. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. Understood. Relaying. Crystal Kingdom denies the request. Proceed with hostilities.
Well, Kawabunga it is. Sorry bros, this is the Evil Side DLC. I take no responsibility, and besides, only losers have to go into the International Court for War Crimes. Oh well, mission complete. Pretty good. But we're not done yet. We still have a general to chase, which doesn't take long. Turns out it's difficult to hide an entire air group composed of fighter jets and airships. In a last-ditch effort, Faust and friends are attempting to sabotage a bunch of Cordium energy plants. And so, the final mission begins. It starts off by throwing a small handful of crappy jets at you. You might think that this is a bit underwhelming for what is supposed to be the climax of the DLC. And it is. That is, until Princess Celestia shows up in her magic flying castle and starts shooting the place up.
Cascadian White Fleet. The diplomatic flotilla turned into warships. K9, you can take them down. It's not impossible.
Oh yeah, thank you, very helpful. How did that thing even lift off the ground? Well, here's your final boss, a massive fuck-off airship. To be fair, it is a pretty epic fight.
Driver, Fox 2.
They're insane. All of them.
Shoot them, driver. Fox 3, Fox 3.
Two lenses are going. Two rounds are going down. Direct hit makes the odds better.
In gun range.
This ship is named after the last poor bomber. We shall not battle them. I hear you, Federation AWACS. I know where you come from. You should know better than this. You've seen it before in your homeland what the Federation does to a country.
You don't get to say that. You Cascadians did more damage to Oceania than the rest of the Federation combined. You all belong to the dogs. Kill them all, K9.
So yeah, the fight is actually quite fun. It also took me a while to beat on hard because of reasons. However, after you spend enough missiles, even the biggest bat goes down. Or, well, up, I guess. Just before exploding though, the general has some parting words to say.
We found something terrible in Oceania. Something that every mercenary will regard as holy. If you drag this war out any longer, they will use it. And this world will become a battlefield.
What the hell was she talking about? We're little people. It's not our deal.
What did they mean by this? Either way, a great victory has been had. Please ignore all the electronics fucking up. I'm sure the apocalypse isn't happening on the other side of the world. And that's it. Frontline 59. Pretty good. I mean, I'm always happy to have more single-player playing game content, so I'm slightly biased, but whatever. No new planes to fly, which is a shame. And the roster you do get is a bit limited, especially since nearly every mission has you fighting a whole bunch of ground stuff as well as air stuff, so you always want at least one anti-ground module to make things a little easier on yourself. And even then you'll probably run out of ammo for it. Also, if you like your little Asian girlfriend for your two-seaters, then you're also out of luck because you only have two choices. The F-14 isn't bad, it's just a bit boring to use all the time. And your only other option is the amazing flying cow. I'm just not the biggest fan of co-pilots is all. Also, I really don't like having an uppity Linux programmer breathing down my neck while I'm flying. Though, to be fair, it is pretty funny bringing her on the tunnel mission.
Send you flying.
Sounds kind of fun, actually.
Why'd you bring me for this
Bonus points if you use the SK-25. All in all, it's still a fun, condensed experience. I do enjoy seeing the main story of a game being explored from a different perspective, and I definitely don't mind playing as the bad guys, even if the DLC didn't really lean into that too much. And of course there's some nice little touches here and there. The occasional callback to the main plot, the little briefing animations of how the war is going. It's just a bit of extra flavor that I appreciate. And hey, it's $5. Yeah, it's short, but I still got more value out of it than some other far more expensive purchases. If you like the main game, it's worth it. And that's it. Thanks to the 5 people that watch until the end. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.